Today I'm going to show you how to paint our color wheel. I have printed out the color wheel handout that is attached to our class in Schoology, but you are welcome to make your own color wheel and do it on any sheet of paper you find or whatever works well for you. So I'm looking at my set of paints and you can see I've got red, a primary color, orange, a secondary color, yellow, a primary color, green, a secondary color, blue, the primary color, purple, which is a secondary color, and then some neutral colors. We're just going to use the primaries today. So what you actually can do is you can pull out the tray and pop out your colors. So I've got my blue, my yellow, and my red. So I'm actually not even going to use the secondaries and the neutrals, so I'm going to put them aside so I don't get confused. I also have, I grabbed a cyan, which is sort of a bluish turquoise, so it's another shade of blue, and then magenta as well. I've also got my water ready to go. I've got my paintbrush, and then I've got a piece of paper toweling just to dab my brush in case I need to clean out my paints. So I'm just going to put the water off to the side so you can see this a little more closely. Okay, so when it comes time to painting in your primary colors, you're going to just wet the paints to get started. And then you sort of use the side of your brush at an angle. The sort of, the lower you can get to your paper, the better angle you're gonna have. And I'm just gonna neatly paint in my primary color. So I'm gonna do the edges first, and then I'm gonna work into the center. And if you wanna paint along with me right now, that would be great. If I wanted to make a gradient sort of faded, I could do that as well. Okay, now I'm going to move on to the next primary color, which is yellow. I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to paint my edges first. And you'll probably definitely take some more time on yours. And then I'm going to move in and do the center. And then finally, I'm going to do the third primary, which is blue. The one thing about taking the paints out of the set is it keeps you from grabbing the wrong one or being tempted to use the secondary colors instead of make them. But sometimes it's a little tricky to grab the paint out of there, so I was sort of anchoring it with my hand. So fill in the middle. So there are my primary colors. And now I'm ready to do my secondary colors. Now I'm going to make my secondary colors. So I'm going to grab a piece of wax paper. And if you don't have wax paper, regular paper is fine. And to make the first primary color is orange. So for orange, I'm going to start with yellow. I tend to start with always the lighter colors first. And I'm going to need yellow for green, so I'm just going to make some yellow over here for green. Okay. And then I'm going to mix red with the yellow to come up with my orange. And I'm going to take a look at it. It's still really red. So I'm going to add some more yellow. Definitely the darker colors are stronger. So I will need more yellow than red. So I'm going to just keep going until I get a nice orange. So I'm happy with the orange that's sort of in there. Okay. I'm going to also need to make a green. So I've got my yellow, and I'm going to go ahead and add my blue. That's a nice green. And as long as I've got my blue out, I'm going to put some blue down and add some red. So I've got a nice purple. So those are my three secondary colors. I've got my green, I've got my orange, and I've got my purple. Since violet or purple is on my brush right now, I'm going to fill that one in first. I'm just going to work the edge, pull it out. Now, if you want to get more complicated, if you want to do gradients, so starting with the solid color and adding some water as you go out so it's more of a wash, you could do something like that. You could do a fade. You could make tints and shades by adding white or black to the color. Okay, that looks really pretty. But you don't have to. This is just sort of practice mixing colors and creating your color wheel. So I'm going to fill in the orange. around the edge, fill in the middle. Some of you will have darker colors, some of you will have lighter colors. Okay, and then last but not least, I'm gonna clean up my brush, and I am gonna grab my green. So that's just a simple watercolor color wheel. When it dries, which shouldn't be too long, you can snap a picture of it and then upload it to the color wheel submission page on Schoology. You don't even have to add a statement or anything. There you go.